I, Dr. Shashi Karhail, thank you on behalf of Rainbow Secure for coming together and becoming part of our celebration of Cybersecurity Month. Rainbow Secure Cyber Symposium 2021 is a month long guest talk series aimed at spreading education, awareness, and promoting security collaboration along with networking opportunities. It's a convergence of experts, business leaders, learners, enthusiasts, entrepreneurs, and enablers of cybersecurity for business, government, and society in general. At Secure Cyber Symposium, knowledge, tips, experience, career guidance, business solutions will be shared, new connections will be made, relationships and partnerships will be formed and nurtured further. The benevolent purpose of the event is to promote learning among technology and business leaders, make them aware of current cybersecurity threats, trends, innovation, and opportunities to make digital transformation and cloud deployment secure. In other words, to spread joy and boost confidence among businesses that there is a hope to do business online with right steps while reducing business risks and liabilities. This is to show that cyber professional community made up of cyber warriors and solution providers are always there with businesses to help it sustain and grow. It's a platform for cybersecurity enthusiasts to connect with industry experts, experiment, and become part of innovations and excel in their careers. It's a prospect to become part of various world renowned cyber communities such as Breaking Barriers, Lean in Circle, the Hackers Meetup, WIT Network, and expand your horizons. It's my profound privilege and honor to introduce our first guest speaker, Nehal Mehta, President Rainbow Secure. She's a mathematician, a statistician, an astute software engineer, security researcher, and entrepreneur. She's a mentor to various women in tech communities, a proud daughter, a caring mother, and a business leader. She has a passion for Indian classical dance and is a trained Bharatanatyam dancer. Being a cybersecurity researcher and enthusiast, she enjoys working on various Rainbow Secure products such as Rainbow Password, Single Sign-On, Zero Trust Passwordless, Identity and Access Management, Multi-Factor Authentication, and list is growing day by day. Her passion has enabled Rainbow Secure to develop world-class products which have already proven their mettle. The products have already revolutionized and attracted attention of fraternity and Fortune 10 companies. To add further, she has three patents to her profile and many more already in progress. She has graduated from Microsoft Cloud Accelerator and is making a significant impact in cyberspace and won various accolades as well as Cybersecurity Breakthrough Award, InfoSec Magazine Cyber Defense Award, Astus 2018 Homeland Security Award, to mention a few. She is recognized by Insight Success Magazine for being top 10 women in cloud entrepreneur. Nehal, I request you to kindly enlighten our audience with your vision and commence our Rainbow Secure Cyber Symposium 2021. A huge round and applause for Nehal. Over to you, Nehal.
Thank you, Shashi. And that was very nice introduction of me. And thank you all to join this event. And thank you to make this event successfully. We have envisioned this Rainbow Secure Cyber Symposium as a month long event where we have touched upon every aspect of security. For our young attendees, we have keep career guidance session, research talk forms, mentoring and later internship opportunity. We will announce this opportunity on our website. Also, we have provided a networking and volunteering opportunity with awarded for participants and performance. Our founder week kick off on October 11 with a keynote address by Saurabh Jain, who is a founder of Fun to Do Lab and ex-vice president of Patem. We have other guest talk from renowned industry expert like Upendra Madikar, Chief Security Officer of Snap Finance, Medina Ali, President of Safe PC, Safe PC Cloud, uh, Azure Principal Security Architect of Squarespace. Our guest panel of talks snap across people from various cybersecurity domain and also include experts from fintech, health tech, government, SMBs in our endeavors to promote networking and collaboration. We are giving various security solutions to startup and business. The price include a various free service, discount coupon on our Rainbow Secure services and solution that also we are offer a cloud credit for our technology partner on behalf of Microsoft. So maybe let me introduce Dhaval, who give you a more introduction about it. Please join Dhaval on stage.
Hello, everyone. It's very exciting to welcome you all at Rainbow Secure Cyber Symposium 2021, and it's a very nice feeling that we are here today as Ms. Sasi and Ms. Nehal introduced that this our entire mission is to bring together security experts, bring together the businesses and students who would exchange their knowledge, who would try to collaborate, try to build a relationship. So this entire mission is all about celebrating the Cyber Security Month, where we learn from each other to help keep the digital dream alive for billions of users around the world. And for that, now I would also here mention that the fight against the cyber crimes and cyber fraud is not done alone. It's always a collaboration effort between the industry and academia, collaboration effort between the users and the businesses. So in order to nourish the digital transformation dream, as mentioned by Dr. Sasi, we have to work together and evolve the best practices and also promote the innovations that brings us to the forefront of digital world. So here I think now I would like to give little opportunity with Dr. Sasi, who can further explain the platform and overall the symposium's day-to-day activities.
Thank you, Dhaval. So our sessions include spans across various talks. Like there will be talks, there will be two sessions of guest talks every day. So we'll be starting with like 11 a.m. First session, guest speaker session. It will go on till 11:30. Then we'll be having a 5 minutes of break, which will be for the sponsors. And after that, we'll be starting a second session, which will start from 11:35 to 12:05. And after that, we'll be giving a session for student volunteers and like researchers to kindly present their research topics on this platform. So we encourage the student researchers to come forward and present their topic and also learn and interact with the community, to meet up, to network with people, to collaborate on like their internship projects and maybe for uh, placements further. Also, the guest talks span across like multiple domains. So first we were kept for the community to interact for career guidance sessions. We have like various professors from various renowned institutions coming up to give career guidance to the students. Second week we are kept for the founders. So we'll be having startup founders will be sharing their ideas on entrepreneurship, and they'll be helping the startup ventures to digitalize and also secure their platform. We at Rainbow Secure are also trying to provide services from our end to secure their platform. So we'll be also sharing our discount coupons, and we'll also share our security solutions with the startup founders. So third week, we are collaborating with various communities like Breaking Barriers, Clean and Circle. We are collaborating with WIT, uh, community, the Hackers Forum, to come up forward and organize various exciting games on the platform, and also to enhance and enrich the audiences with their experience and the community feel. So the zeal and the enthusiasm of community will help them to come forward. Also provide them some mentorship opportunities. They will also try to enhance the user experience of various like participants in enhancing their mm, enhancing their domain knowledge on the subject of cybersecurity. Last week we have planned and lined up for like various sessions on cloud deployment. So cloud is a very upcoming subject, and there are a lot of certifications and uh, events, and there are like a lot of research happening on the area. So we have a lot of people who are into cloud deployment. So we'll be organizing sessions of experts I'm sorry, industry experts will be talking about cloud deployments, and they'll be talking about also security issues. They'll be talking about sorry, forgive me, SaaS applications. They'll be talking about the security challenges which are faced while deploying SaaS applications onto your systems. So we'll be talking about like more and more career guidance founders. We'll be talking about community startups. We'll be talking about community projects. We'll be talking about cloud deployments. We'll be talking about IoT. We have blockchain. We have AI. We have machine learning into play. We will be having business 4.0 presentations from various speakers. So the whole month is planned that way that every aspect of IT industry will be touched upon. We'll be having experts from various fields of the industry who will be talking about their various domains, and also try to encourage participants to come forward and participate in the events community is organizing, the industry is organizing. Through this platform, you'll also get an opportunity to future become part of Rainbow Secure for internship opportunities. You'll also get a hands-on experience of our platform. We'll try to incorporate like some other opportunities for the researchers. We'll try to collaborate for patent work or research papers with the students. I would request Nehal ma'am to kindly speak about her venture, Rainbow Secure, how she has envisioned Rainbow Secure, and how this idea came to her folklore that she should be, working with rainbow passwords. Over to you, Nehal ma'am. Kindly enrich us with your knowledge and your experience.
And before I just start talk about me myself, I want like to just request our audience to write about what they learn on this platform and try to tag the company that you learn from on a social media, so that they can get a feedback from you that what you learn and they know about you. So let me tell you my journey, how we started this solution and this platform. It's like a long story. In short, like I being also be a hack one in one of the incidents that happened with me, and I lost my like I lost money. Also, I lost a precious data of my son, and they I lost their like videos and their photos. So I thought like why this happened to me and what's behind all this hacking and all the problem that we are facing. So I started to research on it, and during that time I joined various community. You can say that I joined EWF and OFs and infosec. So along that also VIT weight networks. So during that community, I learn about the cybersecurity solutions and how to implement. Also, I learn from YouTube how to um, learn little bit about how hackers can make people vulnerable, how they attack on our like on other people. So during that time, when my son was writing his name with a different color, I thought, why should not we have a color in our login technology? as a part of user interaction. So, like, we just started to research more and more, and it ends up like adding a 70 million color, because color have around 0 to 255 different shade, and adding this color and style in login security, that's give you so much big strength. You can say now you can protect from cyber fraud, login related cyber attack, and also now you can also avoid DDoS kind of ransomware attack. So user interaction is very good, and on that basis we started to build this Rainbow Secure platform, and currently we have a different solution like password, improvised password, multi-layer password. We call this a rainbow password, color that secure your business application and your data. Then zero trust login, then single sign-on, then identity access management, location-based authentication, and all these platforms are secure by AI monitoring and AI monitoring backup. And also we give alert if something unusual happen to system. So that's it. This is all about my invention and my product. So it's all around a 6 year journey that I'm sharing with you.
So I
Would
think
you like to add, Dhaval?
no, it was a very nice presentation. I would say you went thorough of our whole journey, and I think now we should allow the attendees to explore, and meet each other, and explore the new platform that we are here using. Today, we are using the Admit platform sponsored by Step Up Skills. This community, Step Up Skills, again, a non-profit community which is empowering the students and professionals to go back and learn and be part of the cyber journey that helps you gain the knowledge and helps you make a new career path. So I think we should all now go and explore the platform, meet each other on different tables, and we come back at 11:30. And Mr. Ranbir Bhutani from Cyber Culture LLC will present his talk.
Uh,
So I think, yeah, let's go and meet each other at tables, meet new people, make connections, and maybe you can even find a partner for your project or business.
And also, I like to hear for a business or sponsorer, if someone like share their story, be open and give them to like networking opportunity and give them access to they grow more. Thank you. Let's join and have fun for whole this marathon. Make it successful.
Yeah, we'll come
Thank
back
you.
at 11:30. Meanwhile, let's chat, talk to each other.
Thank you. Let's connect.
Kshitij, can you
Hello,
go backstage?
welcome, guys. Um, so here we have today Mr. Ranbir Bhutani, founder of Cyber Culture LLC, who has a very exciting talk for us today. He's gonna give you a purview of what CISO does and why small business and founders need a CISO, virtual CISO. So he will give further insight into his topic. So please welcome Randy Putani from Cyber Culture LLC.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the introduction, Dhaval. My name is Ranbir Bhutani, and I'm president and co-founder of Cyberculture. And to Dhaval's question, what is a virtual CISO or what is a CISO? Typically, CISO stands for Chief Information Security Officer, and really what they do is their oversight of an organization as far as implementing a cybersecurity or putting protocols that are in place. And as far as putting protocols in place, they ensure the safety of an organization's data, whether it be technologies, whether it be on the compliance side, really like insider threat, threat intelligence, sort of mix of things. And the beauty of a CISO is that not only that they run the whole program, but at the same time, they're the backbone as far as keeping the organization's data safe, as far as being targeted against the latest cyber attacks, ransomware. So really, the whole virtual CISO concept has been a fairly new concept recently, and really what they do is they come in and help organizations, not on a full-time basis, but let's say 5, 10, 15, 20 hours a month, and really they can come in and learn and understand their organization by doing, of course, a risk assessment, understanding where are some of their strengths and weaknesses, and basically come up with a plan as far as building a very strategic cybersecurity program. And the beauty of doing that is that a lot of organizations right now are in that fear mode that will they become the next target or victim of a cyber attack. And that being said, is that instills fear. Now, the problem with that is when you instill fear, it gets into a very reactionary mode. And really, naturally, especially a VCs like me and many others that are out there, we would come in and say, okay, well, what's the problem and what data are you trying to secure? So naturally, what we're trying to do is keep them safe as far as a virtual CISO. And now the beauty of being a virtual CISO, you work with many different companies, like insider threat company, threat intelligence, endpoint detection solutions, or even SIM related. And in this case, working with Rainbow Secure, they provide a privileged access management, password-based solution, keep your password very secure. And the beauty of that is that you can recommend those type of products, going back to being the vCISO. So you come in as an executive strategic advisor to the company, working with C-level executives, working with the board of directors. And really, you're telling them a story as the problem that they're facing, because cybersecurity is all over the place today. Everybody wants to get into it and understand how it works. But naturally, it goes back to there's a problem that we need to come up with, that we need to provide a solution. So let's make it easy and simple. So when you go there and make it easy and simple, naturally it makes sense. And you can mold as far as what type of program you want. And naturally, of course, in different countries, Europe, there's the GDPR compliance per se. In Canada, they're coming up with more strict laws on around cybersecurity. In the United States, we have some laws in place, such as HIPAA, PCI compliance, even ISO 27000. So really, naturally, those compliancy standards are part of some of the security, but naturally it goes back to National Institute of Science and Technology, which has a bunch of security controls. So really, this is not to further elaborate and get into further into in-depth analysis, is where these are the controls that a lot of organizations, especially on the federal side, and a lot of commercial and private sectors are adopting. So naturally, to come in as vCISO, you don't need to be there on a full-time basis, and that's the beauty of it. And working companies like with Rainbow Secure, naturally, if the client or customer is looking for a PAM-based solution, a privileged access management-based solution, naturally, I would recommend them because of the solution they have. It's very unique. There's nothing out there like I've seen before. And again, that just give you an example as far as coming as a vCISO. Really, we're not taking the CISO, we're not taking a CISO role or taking over it, but naturally we come in, and let's say naturally, even if the organization has a CISO already, we come in there and give them a second opinion, right? I just give you another example. It's like going to the doctors. You get a checkup, and they're like, okay, well, there's a problem. Okay, well, sometimes inside you're like, maybe that's not the problem, and you go get a second opinion. So that's really the role of a VC, is to come in, help the organization, solve a problem, and tell them a story. We make it that easy, and really, it's a no-brainer, right? And from that point on, naturally, there's a few things that you have to do within an organization because you need to understand their data points naturally. But really taking the technical side of it, because everybody's like, oh, technical, do I need to know programming? Absolutely not. Everybody's like, oh, I need to know computers. Absolutely not. It's really, going in there and knowing and learning the organization as if your own, or if you work there per se. But coming from the outside in, you do a thorough analysis. You get to learn the people that you work with, and naturally, I just make it easy. And if you make it easy and simple across the board, everybody will understand you, everybody will work with you. And that's the beauty of from where I come from, at least when I work with my clients. But yeah, that's definitely vCISO in a nutshell. And yeah, Dhaval, please.
Yes, yeah, it was a really nice introduction. At least now people will know when they hear the term, vCISO, because people normally are familiar with CISO, but then they will ask, what is vCISO? So this was very nice, simplistic explanation you gave, but it's very hard work behind this. vCISO has more responsibility, as you said. It's a second opinion, as you said. It's all about, helping the business understand the implications of what's going on, because normally people rise and they question you only when they see some hacking news. Then they'll just call you up, hey, by the way, is this something
Yeah,
we are also affected? So
yeah,
there's sometimes a lot of firefight here. You have to go run around. If you have multiple clients, right, you have to go at different, cater to a different clients, and maybe almost at the same time, like the last issue with MS Exchange related, the bug they had, and the patching. Everybody wanted to patch at the same time because now everything was in the news.
yeah,
So they initially, ignore or say delay the patching, or sometimes people are not even aware of it. And when they become aware, then they try to address that. And then where you may even need helping hand, you may have security staff on board, but when they are busy with a lot of stuff, or if there's some breach and there's a lot of investigation going on, then they need a say independent entity who would come in and do the audits and do the yeah thing. So I think it's very much a nice explanation you gave. Now, one thing I would like to ask you that can you please share a real life example of where you went to a client site and you found something that was client was thinking, oh, is this so simple or something, but it was very very serious matter. Maybe that our young attendees here can learn from. Don't ignore even the smallest thing. So I just
yeah.
wanted. Yeah.
No, that's a great question, Dhaval. Yeah, and to answer that, yeah, really. So one of my clients really naturally, the the first thing that I do, especially when I go to a client, is I must do a security assessment, only because I need to scan their environment. And of course, no coding or skills required. It's using a tool, right? There's tons of tools out there as far as scanning wise. So naturally, you get the scanning tool, you run the scan, and now you get information that gives you, what's critical, like as far as findings, critical, medium, low. So going from that point, especially when you see the critical findings, rather than going to them and saying, well, you have 10 critical findings and you need to address this now, I come up with a story and put them at ease in the sense, okay, well, you have this critical finding, here are my recommendations, and these are the options. Sometimes maybe if they can't fix it right away because it may break one of their customized applications, understood, but are they willing to accept the risk? Yes. And naturally, that's up to the organization, and you keep it that simple, right? Because again, it's telling a story and presenting it to them as far as, okay, well, here's what I found, and this is the recommendations that need to happen. Here are my suggestions, and if you're willing to accept those risks, fine. If not, then they go ahead and remediate those actions itself, right? As far as what needs to be addressed, right? And really, that starts the story as far as understanding their environment, knowing what they need. As far as the technical component, CVE, right? Another word for that is vulnerability. Well, C-level executives like, what's a vulnerability? C-level board of directors like, what's a vulnerability? They don't need to know that. Just tell them exactly your HR department has some critical findings, and you even give them a grade for it, like you're in grade school, right? This is part of actually one of my deliverables. You give them a grade. The grade I gave them, for example, was a C. right? Okay, well, they're okay, but they need to address some weaknesses. Okay, so Ranbir, what do we need to do? Okay, these are the things you need to do to get them addressed, and you take out the technical component of it, and you're like, okay, well, Ranbir, what's my return on investment? Okay, well, if in the case that this environment, your HR human resources department was hacked, I just saved you $400,000. Now, how do I get that number? Is it's based what is it, cost benefit analysis. So really, it's their financials, for example, taking that and say, okay, well, their human resources, and it's crunching numbers essentially. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into the woods, but that's one component of it. So now you tell them, okay, you would have saved $300,000. All of a sudden, light bulbs go off in the room because now you're speaking their language. Because ideally, as business owners, what do we care? What do we mostly care about as far as importance, profits versus losses? Yes, that is very important, of course, but then your protection of your data is even priceless. Why? Because ransomware attack, that let's give an example, Colonial Pipeline, right? They paid that $5 million. Of course, the Department of Justice, FBI, they all got involved and they got some of their money back, but they could have avoided all that. They didn't have to pay the ransomware. 9 times out of 10, hacker or cyber criminals, they'll give you the key, but it doesn't work. It's useless. So it's more of a scare tactic for them to get money out of that organization, right? So naturally, going back to your question, is that you will have certain challenges that you face with the clients, but you have to tell them a story to put them at ease, because cybersecurity has become quite reactionary across many different organizations. They only implement a program if they get breached or they're in the process of attack. That's not the way to do it. You want to prepare. It's just like development of a product. Like, are you going to release your product like a year after into development when it's not completely ready? Absolutely not, because now you're selling a client a false story, right? It's not genuine. It's not authentic. So, of course, be real with them. Hey, this is what's going on. Tell a story that makes sense to them, and that's it. Very, very easy and simple. Yeah.
Yeah, Ranveer, I think that's very, yeah, on point. Now, other thing that I would like to hear, I want you to highlight to the audience that sometimes how hard it is, to convince the different teams of not hurrying up with the security review, but, take time and understand the pros and cons of different aspects of the deployment, because this is especially when now we are migrating to the cloud. Because of the pandemic, most of the business processes are going online, so there is a sudden rush, of converting the apps to the online or business workflows to online. So just highlight, what would be the good approach for a infosec professional or a virtual CISO or even a CISO to talk to the business and lay down the priorities.
Absolutely. No, that. So it's interesting how you said the word hard. Why is it hard? It's never hard. Nothing is hard unless you feel that way. You make it easy, right? So I come in, and again, I don't know about other virtual CISOs, but I come in and I tell the story. Again, I tell the story and I make it easy for them. This is based on my analysis and all the data points that I have. This is exactly what you need. Remember, Dhaval, they're coming to us for guidance as expertise, right? We should never question our ability or our knowledge or our background, because we come in with the knowledge as opposed to them not understanding what cybersecurity or even what the word means. So I say, be elaborate with your words. So as opposed to saying something is hard, we say something is easy. We make it easy. It's easy for them. Everybody's on board. There's no problem, right? It can go to show organizations across the entire globe, right? It doesn't matter what language we speak. We all speak a language, but we all sense the same energies at that point of time, right? So, like, for example, you asked me the question, why is it hard? But why can't we say, why is it not easy? It should be easy. Always make it easy, make it simple, and things naturally work out. I mean, it's just like us going, to potential clients or talking to partners. I mean, it's really a no-brainer when you can be on the same page and your synergies sync together. It works very well. Now, for, let's say, clients that the synergies don't sync, then sometimes, things things may not always work out, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You accept it and you move on. So nothing is hard unless you make it difficult. That's my point.
I think very well said, well said. So another topic that I would like to touch quickly upon is how virtual CISO or CISO would help a business achieve the compliance with the different data privacy regulations. Because data privacy is a big challenge right now, considering the business use of the data versus securing the data that the customer or your end user trust upon you. So give some insight into.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great question. So for compliance, like GDPR, HIPAA, PCI, ISO 27000, SOC 2 Type 2. Now I've noticed the trend that a lot of startup companies and smaller companies are doing the SOC 2 Type 2 because they work with a lot of those bigger companies that require it. So naturally, are there tools out there? There are tons of tools to automate the process, right? But at the end of the day, where is this all stemming from? And that's the big mystery question, but it's really not. Most of these controls are coming from NIST with the combination of depending on what type of systems. And as you indicated earlier, everything is going cloud-based now. Well, how do I know my data is secure in their instance, right? And the expectation that the organization has continuous monitoring, has controls in place, right? So that's at least the expectation. But going back to as a vCISO, we come in there and look at what documents do they have a disaster recovery plan? Do they have a business continuity plan? What if their systems go down, even if it's in the cloud? Do they have a backup instance so there's no impact to business operations? Because let's say they have millions of transactions happening every day, right? So and if you're down, that you're down a million transactions, and that equates to dollars and cents, right? So naturally, coming in there and even seeing if they already have documentation, and that's the challenges and I believe you'll agree with this, that a lot of organizations, they don't have a lot of these documents, especially from the cybersecurity component. They even though they are compliant, there's still a lot of missing pieces and moving parts and bits and components. So naturally, we come in and say, okay, well, what type of documentation do you have that's meeting your compliance? And it's not necessarily have to be tailored towards cybersecurity, but as far as meeting their compliance when they work with their customers, because their clients require it, whether they're a transactional based company or product based company or services, right? And with the collaboration of your company, for example, you guys do services plus products, right? So your products have to meet a certain compliancy as well, even though you go to the client, they're like, okay, well, are you SOC 2 Type 2? Do you follow NIST controls, for example, if that's something that they require. So that's just giving you an example, but naturally it's going in there and saying, okay, this is what you need. Actually, you can go to NIST site and there's all the documents that you need to tailor to their organization. And there are products and technologies out there that just automate some of that stuff for you, but actually a lot of this information is out there on the web, and you can really tailor it to their environment. And that's the beauty of being a vCISO from a compliance standpoint.
Yes, I think it's very essential that compliance is been taken care with good hands, because if something goes wrong and if there's a data breach, then the first question will be, who was the guardian of the data, who was the one to enforce the proper policies of not exposing too much data or not capturing even, because it's not only about you know maintaining the data privacy. Now there's a thought process where capture only what you need.
Yeah.
So here, there is again a lot of work behind the scenes goes on, where you have to work on the data, you have to work with the application teams, and need to enforce the data governance guidelines. So I think, yes, it's a very important role a CISO plays or leads in these projects and efforts. And I think most of our young audience who is listening right now, they would now have got some kind of clarity and much needed information and explanation of what they are looking forward to.
Yeah, no, that's definitely you're on point as far as it cybersecurity is all over the place, but at the same time you have to hone in. And this is just like solving any problem in life, whether it's technology based, it's personal, family, business related, all sorts of problems that you come up with solutions, right? And I think naturally sometimes we fail to see, well, why did it only take 5 minutes to fix a problem that took over 10 days to analyze? And so because when you make things too complicated, then sometimes it just gets all over the place. But when you simplification actually makes things very easy, right? Whether it's, again, going back to cybersecurity, many other industries out there, and again, whatever you do in life in general, you simplify it and you just tell a story and you make it easy for the client. And then actually the client's like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, it's not about making the sale. It's not about making the revenue. It's about solving their problems, securing their data, and helping them feel safe. I believe we had a question. How do you look at the cybersecurity market considering the current cases of data breaches and violations? That's actually a very good question. And cybersecurity is everywhere. The hackers and cyber criminals are everywhere, even on Mars. Maybe I'm just kidding. But the point is that you have to understand that they're in business because they're on the opposite end of what they do, as far as stealing companies' data, selling it on the dark web. This is what they do, as far as what we do, because we're on the opposite end, playing the good cops, to not necessarily to try to stop them, but as far as coming up with solutions and technologies that can protect you, not only as a consumer or an individual, but even on a professional level for many organizations, right? So at least there's always continuing cases of data breach, right? And there's a lot of them that you won't hear about it because, let's say, it's in other countries, unless it makes the news here, right? And of course, you hear about the big ones here in U.S., like the big JB meatpacking. Meatpacking, it's manufacturing meat. Who's gonna hack a meatpacking industry? So they got
Yes, right. Yeah, totally unsuspected area, and hackers now are, I think, targeting tier two, tier three companies.
Oh
Those
yeah,
this part, yeah,
yep, was it Colonial Pipeline?
yeah,
Hack of oil company
yeah,
industry that sells gas. Well, it's connected to the network. It's connected to the system. Why not? Remember Target, Home Depot. I mean, these are years
yeah,
ago, right? I'm naming big names here, and then SolarWinds, monitoring company, 300,000 vendors,
yeah,
300,000 customers
yeah,
that does monitoring. I mean, if it wasn't for FireEye to catch them,
yes,
I
yes.
mean,
So
and a lot of companies know that. A lot of companies actually have been hacked. They just don't know about it.
yes, yeah, it takes time. Maybe I read somewhere that it takes at least 6 to 8 months for a company to realize sometimes that they have been hacked. Hackers have been in your system so long. It just, when they say, okay, I'm done stealing all your data, or now it's my time to strike and be visible, it happens sometimes.
Yep.
Only
And
some businesses are lucky to find them before that, and they try to do a anti hacking operations and they dismantle, but only few corporations can afford that, and sometimes only few
yeah.
people can catch them because yeah,
Well, and this is another interesting case in point, and getting away from that question, of course, is remember when Amazon or Capital One got breached, but it was on Amazon Cloud, AWS. So
yes,
it was sort of finger pointing back. No, Amazon is your fault. No, Capital One is your fault. No,
yeah,
Amazon. So really, naturally, because going to the cloud, it's who's liable now.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
got a big bank
yeah,
versus even bigger e-commerce, like huge e-commerce industry. So it's like, okay, well, one versus the other, but it goes back to your point, Dhaval. If
yes,
you don't put the controls in place, even if you're not considering building a cyber program with your organization, you got to start somewhere. Even if you're a small startup, even startups like myself, startups like you guys, like what we're doing here, Dhaval, you guys are changing the way that you're changing the industry of PAM completely, and the way we look at passwords, completely different. That is unique, none other. I'm here to change the culture of cybersecurity, hence cyber culture. I'm not selling my business. I'm just telling a story that's saying that you know we're onto something here, something so unique, something so different, something that nobody's really thought of. right? Because everything has naturally been as a process, and it's just been continuing on to generation because this is the way. Well, why does it have to be that way? Says who? According to what law? According to what books? Yes, there's lots of books out there. Yes, lots of information, lots of knowledge sharing. But sometimes your thoughts come through, and you come like Nehal was saying how she had an idea. She saw, she saw something. Just a kid using colors, and all of a sudden, voila, an idea spanned in her mind to be where you guys are today, and that is just amazing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, this is the entire theme of the event, month-long celebration is all about sharing your real life experience, real life knowledge,
Right.
and enable your partners, enable your fellow professionals in the industry, enable the businesses and startup founders who would be also watching this video on a recorded on demand. So all it's all about working together to make sure that business is secure and also it follows the compliance rules, and
Yeah,
by
no,
doing that we
absolutely,
empower everyone.
absolutely. And Dhaval, there was one more question. In case we come across an incident of data breach, how would you suggest us to do? That's a great question. So naturally, you would probably want someone to come in and at least as second opinion, a virtual CISO. It doesn't have to be me, but I'm just suggesting. They come in and do a thorough analysis, at least a risk assessment, and get an idea of exactly what happened, and then based on that information, come up with the conclusion of exactly what protocols and policies, procedures, controls, at least security controls they need in place to avoid that. For example, ransomware, MITRE ATT&CK framework, very, very solid framework to work. It's a lot, but it helps organizations understand that. I mean, strip aside the technical component, but it helps organizations to understand where their weaknesses were and where they can get to improve on that, right? And that's again giving one example. Yeah, but that's a great question. Thanks, Pujan.
Yes, you. I think now we are up to the time. So, but it was a very nice and enriching conversation we had. You said a lot of information and a lot of how things work. That many of our young audience is learning and listening today.
Absolutely,
So, thank you very much, and we look forward for more exciting talks from you. So we
absolutely.
expect maybe you can join us again in a week or two.
Oh
And,
yeah, no, absolutely. Anytime you need me, Dhaval and Nehal, I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you both very much,
Dhaval,
and Dr. Shashi. Nice meeting you. Thank
Ranbir,
you.
I have one question for
Okay,
you.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so if someone wants to do as a choose a career as a vCISO, how how they can do? Like,
like
what would you suggest?
Oh, like if you have a potential organization looking for a vCISO?
No,
no, the
someone
students.
like a student.
If
What do you just
Oh,
say about the student? How they choose this vCISO as a career path?
that's a great question. So let's say even if they choose as a vCISO career path, it's like going to the CISO career path, right? Naturally, you don't necessarily have to have CISO experience to get into the role, but I'd say at least have some knowledge of cybersecurity and have some training, perhaps maybe get some experience through an internship, and somebody that, or even a mentor to work with you, right? I'm partnered with another company, for example, that does they team you up with executives like myself that does mentorship, and that's another route to go. I can also make myself available. It's not a problem, and really have somebody to guide and lead you in the right path. And of course, you definitely want to be passionate about anything you do, and it feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, I say don't do it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for your advice.
Can you suggest what kind of certification they can get?
You don't need any certifications to get into this role,
Oh, that's
honestly.
very
Even
good.
into cybersecurity, you don't need a degree. You don't need certifications. It's all a false misnomer because the organization requires it. I mean, of course, yeah, becoming a doctor and a lawyer, very different scenario. But because cybersecurity is so broad and there's so many different subcomponents of cybersecurity, really it depends on what you want to do. You want to go the technical route, become a security engineer, incident response analyst. Um, like a network security engineer. That's all the technical side. You don't want to do the technical. You want to do compliance, become, like a GDPR analyst, or sorry, like a compliance, security compliance analyst. You go more on the information assurance. On the government side, they do certification accreditation. You want to learn insider threat. You're all about insider threat. Employees stealing from you, stealing data, taking sensitive information and sending it to their competitors. So you have technology that does some of that stuff. You don't even need to. Again, you don't need to programming for that.
Okay.
You want to become. I mean, there's so many different roles within cybersecurity, and going back to the vCISO, you want to be a vCISO. Anybody can do it. I have another partner. His son is like 20 years old. He didn't want to pursue the college route. He said, "I'm going to go and he works with his dad. His dad has an MSP, of course, but he's about to get a couple opportunities to become a
So,
CEO at that age. I mean, he only worked 2-3 years for his father's company.
so
So
I have another question for that. Like, if you choose as a vCISO cell, is there any kind of liability?
no, there's no. I mean, again, I mean, are you saying labs as far as
Yeah, I
understanding the
think yes.
technology?
Yeah, let me explain it. Maybe
Yeah.
she's pointing towards that when you take up any profession, whether it's a profession of a doctor, lawyer, or even a technology professions like a
Yeah.
CISO. So there, like you have to manage your own risk, like risk to your own professional
Sure.
service or a business. So yeah, liability is I think a very important topic that we will touch upon in coming weeks. But yes, it's a very important thing to you know you know decide on what you're advising, what area you have to be sure, you have to be responsible on what you do. So there are various liability insurance is also available that Rainbow Secure and its partners can help the professionals, small businesses, and even founders in both technology and non-technology domains.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah.
that's a great question. So, as far as doing what I'm doing, really, you don't need a degree, you don't need certifications. Naturally, if you are passionate about it, you want to learn about it. There are many different components to learn about cybersecurity. Yes, nothing to fear as far as the programming or understanding how technology works, because there are lots of technologies out there. And at the same time, I'd say, if your heart and passion is in this industry, you naturally everything will come to you easily, because either way you decide. As far, and again, you need to, of course, you need to learn the different components of cybersecurity, but at the same time, when you go as a VC, you're going as an executive strategic consultant. So you're not staffing, you're not doing any technical work. You're coming in there and trying to solve a problem for them, and you're helping them build a program. It's beautiful.
Yes,
Like,
yes, yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, we have actually a couple of talks scheduled next week where they are the kids just 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 21-year-olds, and they
yeah,
have already hacked into 60 plus companies, and they
yeah,
have got awarded so much in bug bounties. So we have a
yeah.
couple of exciting speakers coming up in
Very nice.
next few weeks.
And
Yeah.
they maybe teach us how to do that on a live.
So one of the
Let's see
speakers is going to share
that.
their experience. He has not even finished his degrees. Two of the speakers he has not even
See,
completed.
that's the beauty of it, because they had a passion, right? Or that individual had a passion, pursued it, didn't go the normal route of, okay, well, I need to go get my degree and spend 4 years in a college and spend a ton of money.
But
That's
still,
great.
degree is important. So
Yeah,
I
no, no,
would
no. Sorry,
recommend
don't get me wrong. Uh,
you.
pursuing your education, yes, to Nehal's
Yeah.
point, it is important.
Yes,
Yeah.
Is it
education
needed?
is always important.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Is it needed? That's up to you. Now, if
Yes.
you like school and you love school, go for it. If you don't,
Yeah.
then follow your passion. And that's
Yeah. I
all.
think
That's the
yeah.
advice I
So
can give to everybody on here.
yeah, I agree. Yeah. Degree is like formal way to get your education on schedule, on time, so that you don't get distracted
It's
and don't
it's
go
your
off
pa- it's
track.
your pat it's your passport into your first
Yes.
opportunity. Think of
Yes.
it this way, everybody
Exactly.
on the call.
Yes.
Passport
Yeah.
into your
You are
first
right. Yes.
opportunity.
Yes. So I think thank you very much, Ranbir, again for
Absolutely.
attending the
Thank you.
platform and the event. And I will hand over to Dr. Safi, who would bring on stage
Okay.
talented student speaker.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Ranbir.
you,
Thank
Ranbir.
you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Nehal.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I would like to take the opportunity. Hi, I would like to take the opportunity to invite our guest, a student speaker who is Kshitij Joshi. He's currently pursuing BTech in computer science and engineering from GSFC University. He has a passion for artificial intelligence and machine learning. He has also worked on Internet of Things, and it is awesome to know that he already has a publication in one of the top-rated journals of Springer, which is IoT journal, Internet of Things. So I would welcome Kshitij to please start his talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Uh, am I visible?
Yes, you are.
And is my screen visible, madam?
No, not so far. You can share your
Just,
screen.
just a minute. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So thank you for the introduction, ma'am. So let's just start straight away. Uh, First of all, today's topic we're going to talk about is security threats in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So now the big question is how secure are AI and machine learning projects in today's world, right? So whenever any business implements new ideas and new technologies, security is sometimes their main role, and it is always put in the back burner. So it may appear that it is more necessary for them to bring new products and services to customers and internal users as soon as possible, and also at the lowest price, because price is at the end important factor, right? So good security can be time consuming and costly as well. So that's one of the reason why we need security as a basic need in AI and ML projects. Even in not in AI and ML projects as well, but in normal AI and machine learning applications which we use in our daily lives and all. Now, uh, looking up to this, why do we need security in AI ML projects? So first of all, artificial intelligence and machine learning are strategic technologies for every data-driven technologies and organizations. So therefore, securing it is essential for their business, as well as it should be their first motive. AIML and systems have same possibilities for exploitation and misconfigurations as any other technology, but they also provide their own set of hazards other than just data breach and exploitations. Now, as businesses focus more on large AI-powered digital changes, those risks should become increasingly susceptible. Also, these systems require higher volumes of complex data. So in AI, there are two important. First of all, in AI, there are two important assets, and the first one is data. Now, particularly big data. It is how AI learns or trains and derives its predictions and the insights, right? So whenever the data model itself is the outcome of training the algorithm with a large amount of data, it is competitive advantage for any other organizations. So in that case, uh, to protect their AI projects, data-driven enterprises should devise a way to secure both the big data as well as data models. So system requires higher volumes of complex data. Now, since AI and ML systems require larger volumes of complicated data, there are numerous ways to exploit and AI ML systems, while businesses can use current systems for identifying and preventing their network attacks. The questions remains as to how to use established concepts for confidential computing to design safe and secure AI applications. There are many ways to that. We will come to that later. Now, uh, let's talk about some top security threats for AI ML applications in a little bit detailing. So first of all, first big threat for AI ML application is system manipulation. So now a data manipulation is a fraudulent cyber activity wherein a malicious actor alters, tweaks, or modifies the valuable digital documents and critical data instead of straight away stealing the data to damage the organization and make the misery of it. So somehow they'll just make the fool of the organization by manipulating the data, by getting straight into the organization. Now, one of the most common ML system assaults is meant to force high volume algorithms to produce incorrect predictions. Now, this is accomplished by supplying the system with malicious inputs. Now, essentially, the goal of this type of attack is to present machines with an image that does not exist in the real world, but causing them to make decisions based on unverified facts. Then the consequence of such an attack can be disastrous because its effect can be both long-lasting as far-reaching market. Its effect can be long-lasting as well as far-reaching, since it's making a significantly more serious threat than many other ML security threats. Another one is data corruption and poisoning. Now, in data poisoning or model poisoning attacks, they involve polluting a machine learning model's training data set. Data poisoning is considered an integrity attack because tampering with training data impacts the model's ability to output correct predictions. Now, because ML relies on massive volumes of data, it is vital for enterprises to verify the integrity and the reliability of their data sets. If not, their AI/ML algorithms may not work correctly, or it will malevolent predictions by targeting data sets. Now, this type of attack operates by distorting or poisoning that data in order to affect the learning system. Businesses can avoid this scenario by enforcing a tight and PAM policies that limit bad actors or their access to training data within the super secure computer environments. But this type of attacks are usually seen in less type of low level security applications. I mean, low level security models, wherein the training models are not well performed and like that. The next security threat for MLAI applications is a transfer learning attack. So majority of ML systems have leveraged a machine learning model which is pre-trained. The machine's specifications are designed to fulfill designated purposes through specialized training. Now, the vast majority of ML systems rely on a pre-trained machine learning model, and the machine specs are designed to achieve certain goals through specialized training. Now, in this case, this is a window of opportunity for transferring a learning attack to a lethal and AI/ML system. For example, if the chosen model is well known, and an adversary might easily launch the assaults that fool a task-specific ML model. It is vital for security personnel to look out for suspicious activities or expected machine learning tendencies that can aid in the detection of attacks like these. So that was all about transfer learning attacks. There is also another one, which is online system manipulation and uh, data privacy. We'll get to that later. So first of all, manipulation, the online system manipulation. So nowadays, the internet plays an important role in development of AI/ML systems, and most machines are connected to the internet when learning, giving adversaries a clear attack vertical. So the internet is critical in the development of AI/ML systems, and most machines are connected to it internet when learning, providing enemies with an obvious attack vertical. Scientists and engineers are also preventing this type of attack in variety of ways, including simplifying and safeguarding their systems, processing and keeping track of who owns the data. And there are many more type of solutions to these kind of systems. Now, the last one, these are some of the top security threats which are usually seen in AI and ML applications while working on them. This is the least seen threat out of them all. So this is the data privacy. Now, data privacy is an area of data protection that concerns the proper handling of sensitive data. Now, it is critical for researchers to protect the privacy and confidentiality of enormous amounts of data. This is especially true when the data is embedded directly into the machine, and the machine learning model grabs that data, and it conduct and converts the data extraction, and it will eventually get assaulted. So looking into this, the smaller sub symbolic function extraction assaults, which need less time and resources, they can also be used as an attack vertical, right? So, to secure themselves, businesses must not only protect ML system against data extraction attacks, but also implement policies to avoid function extraction assaults. Now, on a concluding note, I must say that the organization must use security solutions that provide hyper secure, confidential computing environments to secure their AI applications and machine learning models. When secure computing is integrated with the correct cyber security solutions, such as a resilient hardware security module or an HSM, it may provide robust end-to-end data protection in the cloud for AI applications of all the sizes. Uh, Thank you. So, Shashi ma'am,
Hi, Kshitij. Yes, Kshitij, thank you for an insightful session. It was awesome to learn about security threats for AI and machine learning. That was great session. Uh, I'll open, yeah, for questions. Dhaval, you want to ask some question?
yes, sir.
Yes, I would like to ask Kshitij about the
Yes, sir.
most hot topic related to AI and machine learning is the ethical dilemma, right? That good use versus bad use, and you also highlighted many points I see there. So, what should be a corporate's strategy when they want to put AI for good use to promote and further their services, by the same time, how they can guide their employees, to take care of such ethical steps that they should take.
Right, sir. It's a very good question, sir. So, first of all, the field is really emerging, and people are diving deep and deep into this field. Even the organizations are evolving, and they want to turn their regular machineries and regular household technologies to convert them into smart technologies with the use of AI and machine learning. But see, this thing, it looks like a utopian idea, but it's not exactly how it looks, and it actually is a very deepest. It is a well for a deep dark secrets. So the organizations also take some measures to prevent such malicious software attacks and such data breaching uh, attacks and events.
Yeah, I think many of your friends and fellow students, I think should I think you encourage them. Now this is the first step that you took. So many of other who got inspired to give such presentation and do in-depth study on such relevant current topics. I think it was nice from you to take so much efforts and prepare for this at short notice. It was very good. Thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you, sir.
And
It
I
was
like
it was
in audience, if you have any question, you can share with Kshitij, or if you want to just come on a stage, just raise your hand so I can pull you on a stage. Okay.
Yeah,
That
sure.
was very nice presentation, Kshitij. And also, I like from audience, how do you like? Just write down on a chat, rate it 1 to 10. How did you like it?
Yeah, and also maybe put some emojis out here to show
Yeah.
your love
Big,
and
big shout
gratitude.
out for Kshitij.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Mhm. Yeah, it
It
was
was
really
very
good.
informative.
it was a really good session, and indeed I'm grateful to have such an opportunity to work with you guys. It was great working with you. It was
Yes,
a
yes,
really
Thank
thank
good
you.
you.
session.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you,
keep the
Kshitij.
good job doing. Yes,
Thank you,
So
Kshitij,
Thank you very much,
for
sir.
presenting your
Yes,
talk.
ma'am.
It was very knowledgeable and it gives an insight to other people to choose, security threats for AI and machine learning and to go further in it. They can deepen their research further in this topic. Thank you so much for putting a light on the topic. Thank you.
Thank you.
so here with this, I think we would be able to do a table talk and a networking. Sorry for earlier glitch where after our welcome remarks, I think you guys could not do networking because we had that some problem with the
technical
setup.
issue.
But now you can do it. So once Nehal, starts the table talk session, I think we all can chat in the small groups.
And also just tag with Ranbir in one of and all your posts so we can give him a feedback. How did you like? Also give a feedback to the Kshitij. How did you like this session? And again, once again, thank you for joining and we can give you more and more insight of cybersecurity and give you more knowledgeable talks. Please stay tuned. We can have same session tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. EST and same time
Nehal,
at 11.
Monday.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just
Yeah, we'll be having more sessions.
I
Yes,
just correct
yes.
myself on a
Yeah.
Monday at 11 o'clock and we invite Viral, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
very.
yeah. So Shashiman, can you just give us a like idea who is the next guest?
Yeah, Viral is like he is a part of the hackers organizations, a community which spans across worldwide. Like it is not only in India; it is for the world. So last month itself, they have organized 2 sessions in New Jersey, like USA. So now they want other students and security professionals to become part of the hackers, and he'll be talking about like his expertise, which is like hacking, and other expert areas which he has gained knowledge into. So he'll be talking about it. So we have like Viral Gandhi, oh sorry, Viral Parmar Chate, and followed by we have a panel talk by Nehal. Ma'am, over to you. Kindly, could you throw some light on your topic for Monday, Monday, 4th
Yes,
October?
it's like we are having a panel talk on how to improvise user interaction in a cybersecurity. And after that, followed by one of our students giving his research work in a technology. Um,
He'll be presenting a talk on the
okay,
online gaming. Yeah, Tushar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's good. Yeah,
love you.
no game and online gaming is one that is
Maybe
very
he
Yes,
much.
can
love
engage the
online
audience
game.
to go through.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
fine.
Hello. Yes, Shashi ma'am, I guess a student has a question. Mr.
Okay, please
Pratik
go ahead.
Pandey.
Okay, please go ahead, Kshitij.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I'm not getting his question. His question is
Okay,
not visible.
okay. Pratik Pandey.
Sometimes his
Yeah,
question, sometimes it is difficult to chase v/w network security and application security. What would you suggest one should go for?
Uh, See, at the end of the day, if you choose cybersecurity, that's both the same thing at the end. So, but it depends totally on your interest, man. But I would suggest you that the network side is much more open. It is much more a wider area. You should definitely go for that. But at the end, I would repeatedly say the same thing that it depends on your interest, whether you are more devoted towards the application side or whether you are more interested in the network security part. So it's totally your call. But there's not much considerable difference between both of these things because the learning in both of them is absolutely almost similar.
Yes, I think yeah, I would second that with Kshitij that both the network security aspects and application security, although they are separate subdomains within a securing a business, but you have to know both of them. You may get specialization in one or other, but you have to have knowledge of that. How what it takes to secure your applications, what it takes to secure your infrastructure, because in olden days, you had just in-house infrastructure, on-premise data centers. Now
Yes,
things are moving to the cloud, so applications are also moving to the cloud. They work, in a different way. So, person who is on network security side, he has to now learn how he can protect his enterprise, how he can gate that infrastructure and applications accordingly.
totally. Yes.
Actually, we have one more question. Is asking like Anshika Verma. She asks which security threats or vulnerability are found in most of the organizations, and how do you make the organization understand about it?
Okay, Anshika. So, see, in many big organizations, there are so many threats that keeps happening because see, sometimes there are insider threats. Whenever some person from the inside it exploits the data of the sensitive data of the company, and it sends the data to the someone on the outside, and eventually the data is vulnerable. The company's name is exploited in that case. Sometimes there are botnets, people inject some viruses and all, and in the software of or any portal or on the back end of the portal, and that type of data, in that type they manipulate, as I mentioned in my slide, they manipulate the data, and it will also bring down the organization. So there are similarly there are many kinds of threats that can happen in an organization. But see and how do you make the organization understand about it? So we can aware the organization. First of all, how to make them understand is to have a cyber security cell in every each and every organization. That is the basic need of an organization. After that, you should conduct regular sessions on how to keep your things secure, keep your data secure, and how to take mandatory measures for not leaking out anything.
Yes, I think
Yes.
as our first guest, Ranbir Bhutani mentioned, that you have to talk to the business, the stakeholders in an layman terms, in an natural or way that you give them idea that hey, these are the some of the threats that might be real. It might be looking small, like hey, what if somebody sent out some email somewhere by mistake. It's not my business data, but it might be your customer data. It might be something that give an idea to the hacker in that so whenever somebody even mistypes an email address, if it goes to wrong place, then that's a security hazard for your company. So this kind of small things happen daily in a corporate environment, and only effective way to mitigate that is that with a joint effort of the security team who monitors these threats, who tries to deploy best available solutions available in the market to both not even allow the user to make such mistakes by say getting the outgoing emails, or by encrypting, making sure that users by default put encryption in their files that they exchange. So many things enterprise can do, but first of all, it's the basic cyber hygiene that education, if employees have, then that also it had to be on a periodic basis. The refresher has to be there. So this is what should be done with at organism level. That is has to be a joint effort from the stakeholders' perspective and the technology and security team's perspective. That we both have to work with each other. It's a continuous process. If you're doing business daily, then keeping the business secure daily has to be done. It's not like you set up the things in place and forget about it. You have to monitor your logs. You have to monitor the changing business needs. You cannot be stubborn that, hey, this is, I cannot do this because of the security policy. No, many times businesses get annoyed and the end users get annoyed and start taking shortcuts because you just bluntly tell them it's the security policy, you can't do this. No, you have to explain them, and you have to work with your users, you have to work with the business to find out the better options, better alternatives, right? So if there's a genuine need to send data outside your organization, then you should deploy best encryption tool that helps them do it in a secure way. You might, set up say VP internal, or if might have set up say even a encryption tool like we have on our platform Rainbow Secure encryption tool for big enterprises and federal agencies. So you have to make the life easier by giving them right tools and right techniques, right education. I hope this answered the question. Stay tuned for
Yes.
more exciting talks in the coming days and coming weeks. And I think now it's time for us to do table talk and networking. Unless if I, oh yeah, I think there's one more question I see in the chat. Somebody's
Yeah.
asking, can I switch my career to cloud security with cybersecurity profile?
Yes,
So
you can. Yes, you can.
yes,
If
you can.
so,
Yeah,
to the
just
person.
Yeah, Dhaval.
yeah, you have to understand what it takes to that. There are aspects of it. You have to understand the functioning of the cloud, how different clouds are set up, how cloud works, how applications
Hmm.
work in the cloud. So these are the couple of basic matters you have to study, and maybe get enrolled into first cloud fundamentals, and then also towards the formal certification. So certification always help in a way that it actually at least tells you what are the basic things you should be knowing. Yeah, it's good that you are smart and you can do a self study, but at the same time certificate is more for yourself. I know that organizations do ask for certifications during interview or during job posting, but I would say for the right candidate, certificate is not mandatory, but it's only good to have because it actually at least lets the organization know that you are actually aware of those topics, aware of the subjects. Because it's not like in exam, right? When you go for interview, it's more about how you prove yourself in the field. The organization may even give you a chance, give you a work to work for them for a couple of months. If they see that you're not learning, you're not stepping up, then anyway they will not be further interested in you. So it's more about education, degree, certification. Therefore has its own purpose. It's more about formalizing what you should be knowing when you are serving a certain field.
Yes, sir.
I think we answered all the questions here, and I think it's time to join our attendees in the lounge.
Aditi, do you have you just mentioned in chat, is it your question or you just mentioned about, and- Dhaval, did you able to see this question? Is it,
Let me go to the chat. Okay, I was on the Q&A side. Yeah, I think Aditya. He's asking that
sorry.
he says that he has seen the cybercrime recently um, on the Twitter. Most of the big celebrities' account got hacked, right? Yeah, and then so yeah, I think he's talking about the hack where Bill Gates, Obama, and many of the big personalities' accounts, Twitter accounts, got hacked. And this again goes back to what guidelines you have for your employees in place when certain things happens. When there is a certain flag to raise, then if you employees have a proper education what to do in those cases, then such breach can be prevented. Because here it was more about the social engineering and more about you know like making the security and technical staff do something while working remotely that they were not supposed to do. So it's in hybrid approach we have to take here. I think yeah, now we have no further questions in the chat or in the Q&A. So,
Yes.
yeah, I think we can open the floor.
Yeah. So guys, let's see you in a floor. try to interact with each other and just talk, do your networking, and share your thoughts. Please.
Yeah, make new friends, make new connections and know each other.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Dhaval. Thank you, Kshitij. Thank you, Nehal. It was a great session today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Siti.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye bye.